Hello, I pray that your Wednesday was filled with spaces and places of joy, of peace, of happiness, that you found something that caught your eye, something that made you smile, something that just made you feel good, even if it was just for a few seconds or minutes or all day long. Here, I don't know what the title of this will be, but I wanted to share with you all something. So, one of my new favorite shows is called Love on the Spectrum. Love on the Spectrum is now in season 2, and it looks at different young adults and some older people who are on the autism spectrum who want to date. And so the show kind of, follows them and provides opportunities for them to do speed dating or, be able to find other people to date. And I love it because I love how, even though a lot of the characteristics of being on the spectrum is basically having no filter, about how open they are and how transparent they are and how they allow their vulnerabilities to come across, which I think are all really good things to bring into a dating situation. Now, initially, I thought that I really liked this show because my oldest grandson, who's 18, is on the autism spectrum. And I love watching anything to do with autism spectrum because it helps me to have hope for him. It helps me to think about him. It helps me to kind of, in a way, enter into his world or maybe see some things from his perspective. So I really love watching it. And I love how TV has produce more and more shows where they're highlighting, a significant part of the population. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of people on the autism spectrum. Some people have been diagnosed, some have not. But that does not mean that they are disabled. It means they're differently abled. I know people who are on the autism spectrum who are doctors, who are lawyers, people who are living very fulfilling lives. But anyway, back to why I'm making this video. One of the things I realized, not just from this show, but I realized a couple of years ago, particularly when I was writing my book, was that I never really dated. I never really dated. When I hear people talking about dating, I realize I never really dated, and it's for a number of reasons, which I'm not going to get into because it would change the whole focus of this video, but I would encourage you to purchase my book the first time because everything has a beginning, which I will tag in a comment under here, and you can learn a little bit more about why I never really dated. And now I find myself in my late 60s. I'm 68. I've been single for a while. I would love to date, but I realize I don't really know how that happens. And I did a video and people gave really good suggestions, which I will keep in mind. But one of the things that the show is helping me with is about being vulnerable and being open and being honest and walking through my fears, lowering my expectations. And I don't mean just take anything, but to not let expectations be so high that I don't do anything. So my question for you is, if you are dating or would like to date, what stops you from doing that? And what's one thing that you have had to do? So I want to say that you've had to kind of let go of in order to take that big step in sharing your life, even on a small level, going on a date for coffee or whatever with someone else. And that small thing, which is not really that small, could be maybe you walk past your fears. Maybe you walk through, sometimes we can get in our head and say, well, if I go on a date with this person, they're probably going to say this and then I'll say that, then I'll get mad, so there's no sense in going. We talk ourselves right out of it. Sometimes we would, take a chance and maybe interact with the person through text or whatever, and they say one thing we don't like. or they have an interest that's no interest of ours. We're like, that's not going to work. So my question is to you is, how have you walked through that? What allowed you to get out of your own way, as my son says in his book, to get out of your own way so that you can begin to enjoy the company or the companionship of whoever you may be attracted to, whether it's men, women, whatever, but so that you can begin to allow other people to enter into your life. Looking forward to hearing your responses. And please, I will welcome any suggestions, but I would love to hear what you had to work through. Okay, if anything. And again, I encourage you, if you want to know more about why I never dated, my book is still available on Amazon the first time, because everything has a beginning, and I will tag in the comments. Love you all. Bye-bye.